Hi guys.
Hello.
Okay, so we've been getting the same question so many times, and so we're making this video to answer the question.
How did we meet?
Okay. So we actually met through Yahoo Messenger of all places. So I was back in the Philippines, and I just graduated college, and basically I sent myself to school working as a journalist, and I just got to the point where I feel like I needed to do something different. And back then, this was in year 2005, the call centers were popping up like mushrooms in the Philippines, and I don't know if it's different now in the Philippines, but back then call center agents actually make more than nurses in the Philippines. But I didn't have any knowledge of computers. I know it sounds weird because I was working as a journalist, but you know, when I was working as a journalist, I had my own radio show. We were just using typewriters. I don't know if my boss was just being cheap. I don't know exactly, but you know, I loved that job. So anyways, for me to be able to work at a call center place, I need to be able to learn at least the basics of computers. So there was this internet cafe right next to my school where I graduated college, and I remember the internet cafe in charge. Her name was Plong Plong, and as weird as it sounded to me to ask her, remember I was telling you about this story?
Yeah.
And I told her if she could kind of educate me, like what this is, blah blah blah, and she was like, oh, that's a CPU, you know, obviously this is the keyboard and this is the screen and blah blah blah. So to make the story short, she suggested to me that if I wanted to be comfortable learning how the computer works, that she could sign me up for a Yahoo Messenger account. And I was like, I don't know, like I'm not really here for anything. I just want to learn about the computers, and then hopefully I can get a shot at getting a job as a tech support of all things, like tech support,
Right.
for Linksys. So so then she created an account for me, and then she logged me in, and she put me in the San Diego, California
Right.
chat room.
Which is where I thought she was when I met her. I thought she was in San Diego, so I thought, man, this is perfect.
Yeah, so he was there, and everybody was like asking the same question, ASL. I didn't even know what that was, but Plong Plong, the internet cafe in charge, said that, oh, that's not anything. They're just asking for A, your age, S is for your sex, like your gender, and then L is for location. So that was like one of the first few things that I learned being in a chat room. And so he was there, and we talked for like an hour or so.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, and then I asked him, to make it short, I asked him, when am I gonna see him again? And then I asked him, I remember I asked him 3 separate times, like, when am I gonna see him again? And your answer was?
I'll see you around.
Yeah, so I mean, I was born and raised in the Philippines, and I didn't exactly know, you know, what that meant. It could be like, I'll see you tomorrow, or I don't know. That's why I asked him 3 separate times. So I was like thinking, oh, maybe I'll see him tomorrow. So then I ended up going back to the same internet cafe for 6 days, and he wasn't around. So I went back to my apartment, and I prayed to God, and I said, as corny as it was, I prayed to God and I said, Lord, if he's not meant for me, like if he's not like meant to be at least part of my life as a friend, then I should just when I go back, not that I was challenging God, but I prayed that I will go back to the internet cafe tomorrow, and if he's not there, then he was just like not meant for me, for him to be part of my life in any way.
Well, you know, they say that the absence makes the heart grow.
So anyways, I went back there on the 7th day and lo and behold, he was there, and he was like chatting all in caps like, hey, I've been looking for you. And I was like, you have no idea, I've been coming back here on the internet cafe for like days. And I was like, I was even telling you, I don't know if you remember, I was telling him that if he wouldn't have been online that day, that I would just like give up the whole thing. So yeah, so we started.
That's always a miracle.
Yeah, so we started chatting, and he literally called me every day since then.
Yeah, since that day, I think we were talking on the phone. I would buy calling cards. I would go to the liquor store and I would buy calling cards, and then I would call her and we'd be talking for hours. It's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. So
And the calling cards were not cheap either. I remember.
Yeah, it was crazy. So so that was in March. No, we met like the last week of March 2005,
Yeah.
and then
Was it
yeah.
last week of April? Because wasn't it my
yeah,
birthday?
last week of
Yeah.
April, and then he was online on the 7th day, telling me that he was his company did like a surprise birthday party for him. That's why he wasn't able to get online for a few days.
Yeah.
So then he visited me in the Philippines in June, right? No,
it's like
November.
It's terrible. I remember it was around Christmas.
No, it was November. It was November.
Okay.
See, we've been married for almost 16 years now. So yeah. So he visited me for the first time in the Philippines in November.
Yeah.
And then I think he stayed there for like a week, right?
No, it's 2 weeks. It was 2 weeks, and I got sick half of the time. I was on
because
the
of
toilet.
the water.
I was on the toilet with really bad
Your stomach is not
pains.
worth.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not used to the water situation yet in the Philippines. I remember you even had to brush your teeth with mineral water, because just anything. Anyways, so that was that, and then you came back to the Philippines again June the next year, and then he proposed to me. But that's another story that we want to talk about, because it's like another like roller coaster, funny and everything. But hopefully that answered the question, how did we meet?